Hey guys, alright, so let's get back to some cigar reviews in the year of 2025. I'm going to start this year off with a bang. This is the Cohiba Macassar. I believe I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come with me as I get into this luxury cigar. So I'm waiting to pick up here at a wood processing plant where they make Adventec and OSB board, all that kind of stuff. And I'm actually getting a little hot, so hold that thought. It's getting really warm out, which I love. I'm not going to complain about that at all. It's been way too cold, and I know we have more cold weather coming our way, which I'm not excited about. All right, so let's talk about this Cohiba Macassar. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at this beautiful, beautiful, almost marbled wrapper. It is gorgeous. I saw this in the box, which in itself is absolutely stunning. And I was like, I have got to try this cigar. These cigars are an interesting line. Cohiba started in 1966 in Cuba, but I think it was around 1978, the year that yours truly was born. General Cigar Company took ownership of them, and they are also now made in America, or I guess you could say American made, but they still are made in Cuba as well. So it's a really nice historical line, I guess you could say. They are very much known for their red dot line, which is a very good cigar. It's very solid. I enjoy it. It's got all the notes that I tend to love, and this one apparently does too. So these cigars, the Macassar, again, I hope I'm saying that right and not destroying it. Macassar. I'm going to go with Macassar. It's a wood that is an ebony style wood. It's gorgeous. Look it up. It's from Indonesia, and the box that these come in are made out of the wood. Now, I have mixed thoughts on that because this particular wood is listed as vulnerable. It is so beautiful. It's getting to be a little more rare, and yet Cohiba is still using it for their boxes. So anyway, this particular cigar comes in 3 sizes. You have the double Corona, you have the Toro Grande, which is what this one is, and there's also a Gigante. The size differences are not that big, so your double Corona is going to be 0.25 inches long by 54 ring gauge. Other than its width, I almost think of a Lancero. You know, they're really long, but they're thin. This particular Toro Grande is 6 by 52. I love Toros. I love Toros. They've always been one of my favorites. Can't say enough good things about that size. It's just the size that works for me. And your Gigante is a pretty big cigar. It is a 60 ring gauge by 6 inches long. So same length, just a little fatter around. Anyway, so let's get into the leaves here, because that is the star of this gorgeous cigar. The wrapper is a Connecticut Habano leaf. The binder is a Connecticut broadleaf. And then your fillers are Mexican, Nicaraguan, and Dominican. And here's the really cool thing about these leaves, guys, is they're all aged, if I read correctly, like 10 years. But the last year, they are put in rum barrels to really soak up that extra warmth of the rum. So I am really excited. Now, this cigar, I would consider a luxury cigar because they range anywhere from high 20s to almost $40, depending on where you buy from. Obviously, if you buy one or if you buy the box, several things factor into it, but it is a little on the pricier end, and I feel very, very honored to get to try one. So I'm really hoping that it comes through and is as good as not only that it appears to be, but that the reviews say. So a lot of the flavor profiles on this show to be like a cedar and woody, a creamy earthiness, some spices, of course. That seems like that's in a lot of them, and a interesting to see what comes through, if I pick up something different. And I have high hopes for this cigar. I am going to cut it today using a straight cut because I don't know where my V-cut is. With Mina, I didn't work here in the truck for about 2.5 weeks over Christmas because James and I were working on our house. And I took my box home, which had my V-cutter in it, and I'm not real sure where it is now. Now remember, when you use a straight cut, you do not want to take off much. You see, it almost still looks rounded. I've literally just taken off just a little. Can you see? Okay. That is the cap. Oh, you can see. That's how much I cut off. Very little. Now, the nice thing about that is if you try the cigar on the dry draw and it's still very tight, you can always take off a little bit more, but you'd rather have to take off a little more than already taking off too much and just raping and pillaging this poor beautiful cigar. So I'm a big proponent of don't take too much off the cap. Even some of my favorite V cutters, that you have a smaller V and a bigger V. Man, this video is going downhill fast. Your bigger Vs can sometimes take off too much also. I don't like how deep they go. But depending on the size, if I was smoking the Gigante version of this, maybe I'd be just fine with that. So obviously, if you have the real estate to use over the cap, then you can afford a little deeper V. But overall, I say do not take off too much off the cap. The worst thing you can do is cut it so much that the actual cap here starts coming off. So just be careful with that, guys. Speaking of the dry draw. Wow. That's nice. It's a little tight, so I'm actually going to eat my little words here. Take off just a smidge more. I'm impressed with how tight that is. There we go. So just that little clip, look how much I took off. Like super, super little shaving. And it made a huge difference in the way the dry draw went at that. Oh, the dry draw is really nice. I do get the woodsiness, and I already get some creaminess, and I get some baking spices. I'm gonna go with nutmeg. Really, this is exciting. I can't wait to crack this puppy open. You're not really allowed to smoke on premises here. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want smoke around wood product. Safety third, you know? But, again, as soon as I get loaded and strapped down, we have a date. Well, guys, I'm loaded, checking out. I'm going to crack open that nice cigar, so come along. Let's do it. I'm hoping it's worth the money and the hype, because a lot of the expensive cigars that I have tried, there's very few that are really cut out to be what they're worth or what they cost. The Opus X, always going to be up there. Any of the Fuente upper line luxury cigars, ooh yes, oh yes. There's very few. I consider a luxury cigar to be anything over $22, $25, somewhere in that going to get awfully specific. I am going to go with hazelnut macchiato. Ever had one of those? Oh yeah. Delicious. A little nutty. You get the coffee. It's a very clear coffee flavor, but the creaminess of the cigar, for me, turns it into a macchiato. So alright, so like I said, on the draw, coffee. Boom. Just macchiato, little coffee with cream, however you want to say it. Really nice. Probably one of the most true form senses of coffee I've ever gotten off of a cigar. The retrohale, again, the woodsy, the earthy, a little bit of spice, and then the roof rub, white pepper, a little bit of sweet spice, and it's very nice. Not sharp, does not hit you in the nose, doesn't get you up high in the sinuses. It's really nice. So far, I am really loving this cigar. I have to thank Victor at Cigars International in Chattanooga for turning me on to this. I never would have bought it. Again, a lot of the upper cost level cigars are not really worth it. They're just not. Plenty of your $7 to $9 cigars are brilliant, and a lot of the cigars that are over $20, let alone over $25, they're okay. You know, they just, it's not like they're giving me a massage while I'm smoking it, so what's the point? This one, I'm already going to say, get one. I'm thinking it's the Mexican leaf in the filler that's bringing forth kind of some of that little extra punch. Boy, it's nice. I'll meet you back here at the halfway point. I'm really enjoying this. This cigar is staying pretty consistent. Not much has changed as I get down into the halfway point. There is, in between the retrohale and the roof rub, though, there is this interesting little flavor, and I'm going to have to say it's like a black walnut. You know how black walnuts are just a little, almost like tart or bitter? They have that moment, and that's what I'm getting here. It's not overpowering. It's just something that I kind of went, what is that? And originally, I almost thought it tasted fruity. Maybe if you guys have this, you'll pick that up, but I'm feeling like it's black walnut. That's where it's sticking with me. Overall, as you can see, this cigar is burning beautifully. It's got a really nice amount of smoke that comes off of it. It's not overpowering. It's not, all up in your face. Just a beautiful burn. There, just tapped it. Really nice. Really nice flavor on the lips also. I'm not finding anything I don't like about this cigar yet. This is another one that I'm really enjoying, and this one might be worth the price. If you want to buy a nice treat for a cigar lover and you want to spend some money, I would absolutely recommend this all day long. It honestly, it reminds me a little of that Meat Lovers cigar, if you remember that video I did. Mostly because of its consistency and its warmth. I wouldn't say that it's super complex at this point, only because it's been so consistent. The flavors are really nice. They're all there, stacked beautifully, but it's very consistent. And for me, a very complex cigar will change its flavors, and it'll kind of grow with you as you smoke it. And I'm just now getting into the halfway point. So far, it's been very consistent. All right, so I'm really very much into the halfway point of this cigar, very fully. And I had to mention that little blip of flavor that I thought was kind of a black walnut. It developed into white grape. Okay, very, very obvious white grape, especially on the end of the retrohale and getting into the roof rub, which is still predominantly There's some spices. Some of the cedar has migrated to the roof rub also. The draw is still just, it's the exact same. It's a little wood, definitely some of that coffee. That coffee flavor is really nice. It's very pronounced and it's very clear. This cigar is just nice. It's somehow consistent and yet offers up some new flavors along the way. So it's still burning beautifully, as you can see. Holds its ash nicely. I do tap a cigar a little more often in the truck just because with the bumps that you go over, sometimes if you have not dumped the ash, it will fall in your lap or in the truck, and I don't like a dirty truck, so can't have that. Alright, so I've made it here to my delivery, and this cigar is lasting quite a while. I've been driving an hour and a half, and you can see I'm still working on it, but I was going to let you know there's definitely the pepper, the white pepper, and even a little bit of black pepper is taking over in the retrohale. You definitely get a little more punch in the nose with that. It's still nice. If you're used to retrohaling, it won't be a big deal. And there's a bit of chocolate. I'm going to say milk chocolate, not dark chocolate, but a more milky chocolate, which you would expect out of a lot of your lighter Connecticut's. Now, we do have 2 Connecticut type leaves here, so maybe that's where that's coming from. But it's delicious and it's nice and it's still a delightful cigar. Overall, I'm not even done yet, and if somebody said, is this Macassar worth the money? Yeah, I think so. Alright, so I am reaching the end. I've still got, probably another 20 minutes, honestly, 30 minutes maybe even of smoking this. I'm going to say overall, this cigar has been amazing. It's really been good. It's been very consistent. Like all cigars, it's getting a little sharper, a little more pepperier toward the end, but it's still really good. I'm enjoying it. Just a nice flavor throughout your whole mouth and nose. It's really good. Love it. Really, really recommend this cigar. Yes, I think it's worth the money. If you have the chance to get one, grab it. Grab it because it's delicious. So I think on that note, guys, my first review of the year, I'm going to say stay healthy amidst all the chaos. Stay healthy, take a breath, don't take any shit.